Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Avni.
Good evening, Megha.
Today, again from the WIMA, we are going to start one more interesting conversation. As we promised that through WIMA, we'll keep on bringing a lot of skilling sessions, knowledge building sessions, and a lot of career enhancement sessions. So, today's sessions will cover all three aspects. So, stay glued to the screen. Keep your questions ready because our today's guest in this skilling session, she would be sharing some actual specific action points which you can take to take your career leap ahead, to make some significant changes in your path at your ease by sitting at your place. She would be sharing with you all the golden nuggets. So, again, I welcome you, Avni, giving a brief introduction of her. She is a mission director with Natraj Empowerment Foundation. She herself is an entrepreneur, having more than 2 decades of experience in the same domain. Avni, first of all, welcome to you.
Thank you, Megha, for inviting me to share my experiences on WIMA. So, I've heard a lot about WIMA from Neelam, and I'm really excited to be able to speak on this platform because, um, firstly, I want to congratulate all the women who are part of WIMA because it takes a lot of guts to be a woman in manufacturing. This is not a traditional kind of sector that women generally opt for. So I really want to congratulate each and every one watching this through WIMA.
Thank you, Avni. By the time I won't be asking questions to Avni, I want to just ask a quick question to all the audience, all the people who are watching, that how many women are in the audience who wants to become CXOs, who wants to take up the leadership roles, specifically in the manufacturing sector. You can keep on typing and thinking about it. Meanwhile, Avni, they are thinking and would reply to this question. I want to understand from your experience, from your perspective, that the moment we talk about CXO roles, so what do you see? Do women hesitate to aspire for taking those kind of leadership role, or they are not encouraged to take those roles? According to you, where do you see the gap primarily?
So I would say that, in part, both is true. So, one, particularly, when a woman is aspiring to be a CXO, because see, early on, whenever a woman is joining in manufacturing, not everybody is really thinking that far, right? It's only when you kind of pass, sort of, there is a certain journey you cross in a particular organization, then is when you kind of get clarity that, oh, yes, probably I can. But at the same time, that is when the time, like, during mid career, is what I would call that women would think that if I am a CXO, will I be able to manage all the responsibilities, considering the social obligations? And so one part is that, and the second part is also, society as such. I would say post COVID, it has evolved slightly, but prior to that, it was more, driven towards women have to play both the roles. So yeah, I think it's part of both.
Okay. Again, I would just trying to redefine this question maybe to a more extent. When you are saying that it's a part of both the things, they need some more encouragement as well, and there is a bit of hesitation as well. So I want to understand first the hesitation part. There are many narratives women hold inside them. What are the narratives you are seeing? For example, that I need more certifications, leadership is not for me, leadership is aggressive, what if statements, that what if I fail, what if people start judging me, I'm not ready. What narratives you have seen?
So I think, see, again, I can share these experiences because I have friends who are in quite senior positions. And there is sometimes a fear of burnout that, oh, if I, and also the superwoman syndrome, okay, that we call, because women in general want to be perfect in everything. Okay, I want to be a great mother, I want to be a great wife, I want to be a great daughter in law, I want to be good at work as well. So, you know, I mean, there's nothing wrong in it, but what I feel is that, there is everything has its place in time. Okay, so you have to prioritize. The other day, I was listening to Indira Nui, and she was sharing her journey and how she had to make sacrifices. You know, possibly she used to make time. Like she was saying that if she wanted to relax, she would then take her daughters along to the spa so that they can spend time together as well as have a relaxing time, because somewhere that this whole concept of me time is there. So she said me time is time with family, so that is one aspect. So I'm saying burnout, fear of burnout is probably troubling a lot of women. uh, then the second aspect is uh, they're possibly not even imagining themselves in that role. I don't know how many women are really imagining them at the helm. Okay. You now have a lot of examples, of women in manufacturing who are at CXO levels. There are earlier they didn't have role models as well. Now at least you have, like, the president of Tata Power, Anjali Pandey. Then you have Revati Advaiti. She also has achieved a lot in the manufacturing sector. So now you are seeing a few role models. Earlier, that was also not the case. So obviously, the right question you asked, that how many women are actually seeing themselves or imagining themselves as at the helm of any organization.
Beautifully pointed out. There are few keywords which I actually want to reiterate and highlight for everyone who are listening. You talked about superwoman. You talked about that superwoman syndrome specifically. You talked
Yeah.
about burnout, that yes, the women feel burnout, and very specific aspect we touched upon, that they are not imagining themselves in role. So probably
Mm.
that level of imagination is missing. And if
Mm.
we stick to these two elements, they feel burnout, they are not imagining, it means they are not foreseeing that kind of career option. So, now what sort of skills, what kind of mindset can help the women to come out of this burnout and the superwoman syndrome and actually to imagine themselves to that specific roles? What skills, what mindset?
So I think, women have the skills that are required, I feel. I mean, they are leading homes, they are doing so many, multitasking, so many things they're doing. I mean, I, for one, I'm not good at multitasking. It's the other way around in my house. My husband's a great multitasker. I'm not. I'm more, focused on one job, do one task, and then move on to another. So, you asked a very valid question that what do we do to overcome the superwoman syndrome? So number one is you don't have to be perfect at everything. uh, Accept your weaknesses or be kind to yourself, I would say. Okay. uh, it's not your it is accountability when you are managing home and kids and everything. It is not your sole responsibility. Okay. So there might be, like, when there are husbands nowadays who say that, okay, tell me what I should do. Okay. But I've seen cases where, the woman still feels that, oh, he'll not do such a perfect job. It's okay. How does it matter if once in a while, he's doing something? They'll learn from their mistakes, right? So I feel, that part. And also in our kind of houses, the kind of attention, because nowadays you have just one or two kids. So the kind of helicopter moms you see. So it, in a way, plays on your mindset as well. Okay. So yes, letting go of some of the things that are not a priority. The other thing is imagining yourself that, what exactly you want to be doing. Okay. If it is a leadership role that you pursue, and a lot of times you might be at meetings and you might feel that, oh, you know better than them, or you can manage things much better than the other person. But what happens is, at that point in time, the woman would withdraw, or not kind of ask questions, not take the lead. She might at that point in time think that, why should I? you know the root cause of the problem is that you haven't really thought about being the leader, and that is why you are not taking charge. Okay. The moment you shift from just, so there's a very beautiful saying. Okay, this Ganesh tells us, Dr. Ganesh Natrajan. I work with him for uh, at Natrajan Empowerment Foundation. So he keeps saying that vision without action is a dream. Okay. And action without vision is time pass. So when you align vision and action, and that is when the real shift would take place. Okay. So it is very important to understand whether you are doing time pass, you're dreaming, or really going after what you want to, what you're dreaming of. What are you doing to make sure that you are at the helm of that, of the organization? So I wouldn't say that women are less capable. It's just that they haven't built the agency or the drive that I want to reach there.
Perfect. So we have touched a very important chord over here. And again, I'll reiterate the Ganesh sir's statement here that the vision without action is a dream. So I'm again want to ask to all the audience that check with yourself. Are you in a dream state? And again, the second version that your action without vision is a time pass. So are you doing a time pass? Check with yourself. This is a question for the audience. Now, Avni, when we touch this specific chord and we are reaching to this point that skill set is there, mindset needs to be shifted a bit. But now we are talking about one side of the table, like we are talking about women only. What mindset, what skilling needed at them, at their side. What about the other side of the table? It means I am asking questions. Does organizations needs to have some policy changes, some kind of environmental changes, so that the women also feel that yes, we are we are ready to take up those roles? Any kind of changes we are seeing that yes, these needs to be made on the organization side. I'm not saying making the situations comfortable for them, but yes, making them the opportunity to raise their hand and to speak up their voice. Any changes which you see through this foundation?
So again, I'll give you two examples. Okay, again, this is the successful women that I've worked with, or I have observed. So I'll give you the example of Dr. Uma Ganesh. Okay, again, she's our chief mentor. So she started her career in manufacturing, actually. And the other day I was listening to her, and she was saying that how after she returned from her maternity, at that point in time, they didn't even have 6 months maternity. They had to come back like in 3 months' time. So after she returned, and it was mainly male dominated, very few women, or none for that matter. And there were these men who were trying to sideline her or not give her the main opportunity. And then, they would, once they told her that, okay, now you will be assisting in the accounts department. And despite her not knowing anything in the accounts department, but she made it a point that whatever assignment she was given, she excelled at it. So the way, like, she approached the whole opportunity was not, oh, I cannot do this, or why should I do this? She did it with an open mind, and she fared really well at that as well. The thing is, maybe later on, whatever she did in her journey, but that experience helped her. as an entrepreneur. And even now, when GTT Data, the company that she's founded, is publicly listed, so that experience really kind of propelled her into that understanding of finance accounts. So yes, there will be challenges. How do you approach this? you know are you going to sulk about it and feel guilty or feel you know be in this self pity mode, or are you going to take it up as a challenge and make the most out of it? So it all depends on how. So that is one Dr. Uma Ganesh's example. And same goes with Indira Nui. In fact, again, I'm taking her example. So she, again, when I listened to her, she was saying the same thing, that predominantly they were male dominated. She was the only Indian woman in a group, amongst a group of men. And she decided, she found herself like, not she felt that she wasn't adequately dressed sometimes, and even she was being judged. Okay. But the moment she decided that I'm going to play a different card, I'm going to bank on my IQ level and intelligence, it just kind of shifted everything. So what I'm trying to say is, in each of these examples, despite whatever barriers or hurdles these women faced, they took it up as a challenge and they pushed forward. Okay, and they made their space. Okay, so I think more women need to think about it this way, rather than looking at it as a lot of effort or hard work. Think about, it is going to happen. In fact, whether you think, whether you want to be a CEO or not, you have to put effort in everything. Particularly now when times are changing. So AI is changing jobs rapidly. I would say even it's not like manufacturing is far away. So one is the influence of the AI, and second, the push that the government is making towards getting more and more manufacturing done in India. So obviously, change is inevitable. So you are going to have to work hard either ways, right? So you might as well do that. Put your effort in thinking big, and particularly those women who want to, or somewhere in the corner who you feel that yes, you can, go for it. That's my suggestion. I think I went a little off track here, but I wanted to make these
No,
crucial
perfectly,
points.
perfectly on track. Apni, you again bring in a specific narrative to conversation that yes, skills are there, but there are two perspectives which I am seeing now. The skills which were needed earlier, and these skills are needed now as well. You talked about in the specific examples of Uma ma'am and Indra Nui, you talked about resilience, you talked about challenge, you talked about decision taking abilities. But at the same time, we are also saying that the industrial perspectives are changing, the industrial dynamics are changing. So, along with those innate abilities of decision taking, courage, resilience, power, and taking that courage to take the foot forward, what other skills the women need so that they feel more confident and aligned with the today's fast changing scenarios in the industrial setup as we are talking about. So what are those skill sets or the leadership attribute or those regime the women actually needs to upskill themselves in different domains so that they can take up those leadership roles?
Right. So, see, I feel women inherently have um, higher emotional quotient, and they are much more collaborative while they are driving teams. Um, so those are the qualities that women can really bank on. Uh, so one of the things that, again, I'm going a little off track over here, but something that might help women to, something to ponder about, is that our education system is such that we always tend to compare ourselves with others. You know, the grades are always in comparison with what the top person achieved. But rather than that, it is important to understand your own strengths and weaknesses and try and understand if you have to achieve a certain level, where are those gaps? Okay, and what do you need to do to fill those gaps, overcome those barriers? Okay, so I think it is number one, a very personal thing as well. Trying to strategically identify those skills. So, in this day and age, I would say that considering the kind of diverse workforce we have, um, whether it is IT or manufacturing, the different kind of thought processes that each of these generations bring to the table. So I feel a collaborative way of working, emotional quotient, resilience, these are extremely important. Adaptability. Yeah. Obviously, strategic thinking, decision making, understanding how the industry is shaping up so that you are able to, anticipate and build your organization according to, or the team preparedness needs to be there
Mhm.
for whatever is coming, right? So that kind of thinking is required in today's time. The kind of leadership that we want. It's no longer the authoritative way where, I'm going to tell my team what to do, and they will just have to do. Okay, if it is ABC written in cursive, you have to write ABC in cursive only, no other way. It's no longer that way. If we have to drive innovation in our organization, it is very important for us to ignite that kind of thought process in our teams. And how do you do that? It is not by telling them what to do, it is by facilitating and shaping their thought processes. Okay. So, being collaborative, listening. So, these are very, very important in this day and age, and this is sector agnostic. Okay.
Hmm.
Because you cannot say that in manufacturing, this is only what will work. Okay. So, that's not the leadership of the future. Okay. So, I feel these things are very important.
Great. So we are heading towards identification of few things. Couple of verticals are unfold now. We discussed about that, yes, certain skill sets are inherent, but certain skill sets needs to be acquired as per the changing dynamics. We talked about, yes, resilience, emotional quotient. These things are actually inbuilt in the women. But again, non-linear thinking, innovative skills, creativity skills, and creativity we are talking in terms of as a whole picture, innovations, and strategic thinking, non-linear thinking. Talking about collaborative abilities, we are talking. So I'm curious to know that, yes, how Natraj Empowerment Foundation can support the
Yeah,
women to upskill all those things, all those qualities, all those parameters which we are talking about. Because at the same way, WIMA has also taken this vision and mission to empower the women for taking up those skills. So I'm little curious to know that how this foundation is helping the women to shape up their career with honing these skills ahead.
right. So, let me talk about Natrajan Empowerment Foundation a little bit. So, this foundation we established in order to achieve our goal of a Vikasit Bharat. So, we want to be a developed nation by 2047. And what is it that is needed to plug the gaps? Okay, so one of the first things is that if you look at women, only 20% of our women are financially independent. Our government wants 70% women to be financially independent. That is, so we have like an untapped potential over here, right? And there's a huge government support to make women more financially independent. So that is one. We also are encouraging innovation through our NES Innovation Award. So we are banking on the demographic dividend of our youth, and obviously how the wisdom of seniors and mentors can help the overall um, kind of building through their wisdom, using their wisdom, right? So that's the entire ecosystem that we are building at Natrajan Empowerment Foundation, so that we are sort of in a small way starting a movement, you can say, towards a Vikasit Bharat. So that's NEF. And one of our flagship initiatives in order to bridge or rather, there is a gender divide. Okay. So currently there are just 1 to 8% of women in CXO levels. In fact, in the newspapers, it was said recently that the mid career women, that segment is dwindling. Okay.
Yes.
So it's a big problem. Okay. So, how do we help these mid career women to achieve their ambitions? So, we have launched a program, a leadership program in collaboration with IIM Mumbai. Okay, it is
Wow.
called the Leadership Accelerator Program. In fact, our first cohort starts on 22nd March. So, anybody who still wants to, they can apply for this program. So what we are doing, it's built on four important pillars, this program. One, and again, it addresses all the problems that I'm trying to talk to, that we spoke about earlier, addressing the internal and external barriers that women face. So,
Okay.
so number one, there are immersive programs which are led by life coaches and business coaches. Eka Chaturvedi Banerjee and Narendra Goidani. They are, so basically, it's not easy to get, you know, uh, the kind of knowledge that you can gain from these, because they usually coach the
I'm
CXO
pausing you
level.
here. You are saying that the first cohort is starting soon. So, will there be
Yeah.
any screening process? This point just popped out in my mind before you hear the other
Okay,
information.
yeah, there will be a screening process. So there is a form that you need to, obviously your purpose has to be very clear, because we don't want women, like I said, vision and action need to be aligned. So,
Yes.
yeah, so, sorry. Yeah. So I think we want women who have that kind of clarity of what they want, who have a higher ambition, and they have a very clear why they want to attend, or why they want this program and why they deserve it. So and they have to be between 7 to 20 plus years of experience. That's our criteria. They have to be working. So in this particular program, that's what our focus is. So yeah, the first pillar I was talking about is the immersive programs, which will happen on IIM Mumbai's campus. The rest of the program is going to be live and online, and conducted by the IIM Mumbai faculty. Then we have a very crucial pillar, which is mentoring by CXOs. Okay, women who have been there, done that. So these are, if I have to name a few, Aruna Jayanti, who's MD of Capgemini. She is one of the mentors. Then Pramila Kalive, Roma Balpani. There are like all who will be spending 1 on 9 with the participant, hours a month. So that accounts to like 12 hours. uh, so this is an opportunity we are giving women, and so these are women who have been there, done that. They've navigated through all these challenges that we spoke about, and they can directly coach how to manage your careers. So that is the third. And fourth, of course, is the peer. So we are being very, very particular about the kind of peer network that is going to be part of this group, because so again, I'll share a personal example. So 20 years back, I was working with a startup organization which was into offshore recruiting. And somehow, five of us, we kind of stuck together. And the beauty of this camaraderie was that whenever somebody was like, there was a period in my life when I was a little low, I was not doing anything, and then I had these women who would push my ego, and they knew what I could achieve, so they kind of pushed me to achieve what I wanted to. So you need that kind of sisterhood and camaraderie to be able to reach a certain level. Hello. Okay, so I believe I've lost Megha. She might join back. Uh, about this is the fourth for the leadership program is about, and the best part is it is highly
Okay.
subsidized as compared to the other IM programs, or the other top-notch leadership programs.
Oh, that's great. Avni, now a couple of questions. I could easily understand that NEF is doing a lot about skilling part, empowerment part, bridging the gap from the thought process to the actual execution part. In addition to all those things, we have shared the entire picture that yes, this women can do in relation to the internal setup, in relation to the external mindset, everything. But if I ask you very categorically, three things which women can do just after we end this session, three quick action steps, which we can ask the women, or not specifically the women, anyone and everyone who aspire to take up the higher leadership role, three specific action points they can take up quickly so that at least they take one step ahead on their journey today itself.
Yeah. So I think the first thing we mentioned, that vision is important. Second is, in order to reach there, what do you currently have? What are the strengths you have? Understanding. So building a lot of the leaders you see, they have a lot of clarity of thought. So and also they are self-assured. Why are they self-assured? Is because they understand what they are good at and what they are not. They are able to separate the noise from what truly matters. So I think being able to understand yourself is very, very important. Understand your strengths, your weaknesses, and if you have to achieve a certain objective, what do you need to do? Write it down. Okay. So I can give you certain examples that throughout my like, if you look at the number of pivots I have done. Okay, so I'm an engineer, but under the my aspirations were, I would say I wasn't I didn't have that agency to kind of dream higher, and so I took up whatever came. And it was a 2000 period, so I got into offshore recruiting. But the one thing I did really well was whatever assignment I was given, I did it to the best of my abilities. Okay, that is the one good thing that, and I think till date, that is one of the strengths that I have. That whatever is given to me, I will do it to the best of my ability and think like a business person, like it is my own company. And that's how I drive. Okay. So there's a one thing. And then by the time, so there was this organization, I was the first employee over there. And from a trainee, I was promoted to a service delivery manager. And then there was a point in time where felt, and this again was I felt now in hindsight, that it was my own thinking. I had my own barriers, but I felt that I was being sidelined. Uh, that was my problem, really. But in that period, I was trying to see, how else I can build if I want to get into a software job, what do I do? So, as a service delivery manager, what do people do? And so I wrote it down. If I have to write it on my resume, what do I do? And so, while I was thinking about quitting because I was getting married, So I thought, okay, what are the steps? So what should I do? So that's the time when I built a client flagging process, which is till date. In fact, one of the girls who is part of the cohort, entrepreneurship cohort, she tells me that till date she's using those models that I had built at that point in time. And that same client flagging process I implemented in my next company. And the vice president at that point in time really commended me for that program, because for 6 years while I was in that organization we used that, and even now people use it. So the thing is, um, identifying those strengths, going after it, identifying what you want to achieve, and writing down that what are the aspects that you need to take care of when you want to achieve your dream. Same goes with when I wanted to do my when I wanted to get into an operations role, because since I have a recruiting background, everybody was moving me into recruiting and HR kind of roles, whereas I'm an operations kind of a person. I know that. That's I connect. That's what I connect to. So I decided that if I have to get there, then what do I need to do? So I acquired a certification course from one of the IM institutes, and I did my project management course. That's how I landed with this role, which I think I'm going to spend my lifetime doing this, right? So so that is important to understand. What are the skills? What do you need to acquire? What are the best courses available? Look into that, and then go after it.
Truly resonate with Avni what you are saying, that the moment you aspire to take up any different role, any higher role, your learning can never stop. And why I'm saying I truly resonate, because till date as well, after completing my doctorate in way back 2010, I thought now the education is done, now the learning is done. But today also I keep on learning, keep on doing the new upskilling, the new certifications, because it's a dynamic landscape. The world is changing so fast, and if you will not keep yourself updated, definitely you will be in the outdated category. Be it, it's not a gender specific thing, upskilling is for everyone. And I just want to understand that if the audience are having further questions regarding this program which you shared, regarding this upskilling part which you shared, the certification part which you shared, so how can they connect with you? How can they reach to you? How can they ask more questions regarding this certification program? Just give a brief about that.
So, if you go to the IIM Mumbai website, actually, they also there's a page on Leadership Accelerator program. You could probably add it in the chat window as well. You
Okay.
can download the brochure. Um, you can download the brochure. We can also, in fact, in the chat window, add the brochure. And I don't know if you're able to share the
Yes.
one page
So what I'll
slide.
do, I'll share your email ID, and I'll
Hmm.
share the brochure in the chat of this
Yes.
LinkedIn live session. And I request all the viewers, you can download that brochure, and whatever queries you are having further, you can directly write to Avni, and she would be, on her behalf, I am saying that she would be happy to answer your queries, because
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
I know she would. Avni, this course sounds really interesting to me, and the journey which you shared with related to NEF, that also sounds so inspiring to me as well. One curious thing which is coming to my mind, that we started with the mindset of women, that yes, they have the fear, they have certain syndromes, they are not able to think ahead. But eventually when we started discussing ahead, we came to a conclusion that the skill sets are there, the opportunities are there, they need to step ahead, they need to come forward, and they need to take this path of moving ahead. I believe the message is very loud and clear from your side and from Weima's side as well, that yes, scaling has to be continued. There is no full stop for upskilling part. You are coming with a very beautiful thing, mentorship, hand holding. So this part I believe will give a lot of strength to each and everyone, to each and every aspiring individual. I am deliberately saying individual, so that we can start diminishing this specific vocab which we use, men and women. Everyone needs to skill themselves. Any final message from your side? Because the course details I would be sharing. In addition to that, anything which you want to share with our audience before we close the session?
So, I would like to just, I know it is easier said than done, but try it because it has helped me in a lot of ways, to overcome my insecurities, to be self assured. There will be always be things that you don't know. There will always be things which you can't do, but ask for help. Okay, I think a lot of women do not ask for help. And I've seen that the moment I've started asking questions for clarity, the moment I've started seeking help from people, the entire dynamics has changed for me. Okay, so I'm hoping that this will help other women as well. And of course, dream big. But inherently, we have seen because of the social conditioning that we kind of have these insecurities and biases, and we think that we're not good enough. But that's not true. I want to say that it's just that we're not, and also not showing up. You see that men are out there networking, meeting other people. We organize meetups every time. Why are we doing this? So that women come together, boost each other up, build each other up, and together we can grow, right? So we find that women don't show up. So we have to change that. We have more and more women need to come, meet others, learn from each other, and I'm sure the change will happen. I'm sure that through this, not just through Natrajan Empowerment Foundation's program, but a lot of the other initiatives that even the government is running, change will happen. I'm pretty confident about that.
True. Wonderful, Avni. And your one line I'll again reiterate, ask for help. Ask for help. And the
Yes.
second point, show up. Show up for yourself, not for anyone else. So that's that. I believe that is the two key takeaways which I was asking earlier as well. So the two
Yeah.
specific key takeaways for everyone is yes, ask for help. Do not hesitate, because the moment you will show up for yourself, the people will be there to hold your hands. The people will be there to show you the lighting, the guiding path.
Yeah.
And of you, one example is Rajan Empowerment Foundation. So reach out to those people who are there, taken this vision to help others so that they can make the path easier for others as well. Thank you, Avni, for sharing those insights and about the specific work which NEF is doing in specific context to empowerment and see a different world and seeing the different dynamics maybe after a few years as well. Thank you for sharing all those insights
Certainly.
from your side. And
Thank you for
viewers,
having me,
please
Megha,
keep
and
checking
I
the
hope.
chat box.
Yes. And I hope the audience benefited from, whatever we discussed. And in our small way, if we are able to make mind shifts, I'll be very happy. Thank you.
Truly, truly. And audience, please keep checking the chat box because we would be sharing all the details of this course in the chat box and Avni's mail ID as well. Thank you, Avni, for your time on this festive evening. Wishing you very
Thank
happy and
you.
colorful Holi and to all the
Yes.
viewers as well.
Happy Holi, everybody. Let's get rid of all the negatives, guys. And yes, burn the fire of ambition.
Truly. Thank you, Avni. See you again.
Thank you.